I'm not going to dally around. I'm going to invite out Bobby Berk, please, everyone. Come on down. Hi, Bobby.
No,
Oh my God,
back around.
love it. Stop.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys. Is this too tall for you?
No, I love it.
I want to go high.
Yeah, go high.
When we go high,
When they go low, we go high.
Right. Wrong way. Okay, great. Okay.
I heard Carson was just spinning around earlier.
I mean,
So if Dad
sort of
does-
his MO,
if Dad
right?
does it, I've
Did
gotta
anybody
do
see
it.
Carson and Tom yesterday? Raise your hands.
Yeah.
Show of hands.
Aren't they great?
We're gonna be better, right? Although there was two of them, and then Clint. They had a real lineup there. But we're here to entertain you, folks.
We're here to entertain.
And tell thought-provoking stories, and
How's
maybe make
everybody
you
doing
cry
today?
a little.
Good? Yeah? Are you
Yay.
tired? Are you ready to go home? Never.
No.
You never want to leave High Point. No one ever wants to leave High
No.
Point.
You can never leave. It always brings you back.
But by Monday, you will.
Yeah, it'll be time.
You'll be tired.
Let's take a show of hands. What do we want to ask the people? I want to ask who they are. Who's a designer in the audience out there? Raise them high.
Yeah.
Great. Who's a rep or a showroom person? They're probably too busy in the showroom. Okay, a couple.
Yeah,
That's great.
why are you here? Why aren't you in your showroom?
Editors, publicists type out there. Very nice. What did I miss? Who else is out in the audience? Shout it out. Say.
Doctors? Any doctors in the audience?
Wait, he sounds like he has something interesting. What do you have?
And a doctor?
Any sourcing managers in the house?
A little bit of an overachiever, aren't
Are
you?
you a sourcing manager? Great, so you're not alone
What?
there. I like that. Yes. The sourcing doctor. That's your new business name, by the way. The sourcing doctor. And you just fix it. You just make it happen.
Put it on your
Get
card.
that boat here. Deliver those goods. It's really good. So instead of doing a traditional sort of formal bio, we thought we might do some storytelling.
No, I prefer formal. I love
Oh,
formal. So
I left my
formal.
formal at home. I'm sorry. Let's start. Let's go backwards.
Okay.
We are going to talk about Queer Eye. I promise you, we will regale you with off-color, out-of-school anecdotes. But I do want to start with where you are right now, which is on the precipice of launching your own thing. And we're going to get to A.R.T. immediately after that. But tell me, let's look forward for a second.
Okay, forward.
Yeah, after Queer Eye, post-Queer Eye. Or is there such thing?
After Queer Eye?
Yeah. It becomes the Bobby Berk
I mean,
hour, right?
I think I'm like 55, 60.
Yeah. Graying,
you
finally.
know. Jonathan, at that point, will have lost all of that hair.
Oh my God.
We were talking about it like 2 days ago, and he's like, you know what? My mother's father, bald. All my brothers, bald. I'm on borrowed time. I'm going to use it while I've got it.
He's making the most of it. Oh my God.
How many years did you say?
Like
Fast
just
forward
looking
how
in the I mean, even like 2 or 3 would be appropriate.
You know, I think 2 or 3 will still hopefully be doing Queer Eye.
Awesome.
It's had a really good response. The
Yeah.
network loves us. We love them. We love what we do. The last 2 years, it's engulfed our life.
Yeah.
But I think if we can soon find like a happy medium.
Yeah, you're getting good at it now, right?
we can do it for a long time. We really
Awesome.
enjoy doing it.
And you have launched your own beautiful website. You guys have to check out bobbyberk.com. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And you have a new editorial director, or even more than
Yes,
that.
Brady.
So
Creative
Brady,
director.
raise your hand.
Yep, he's my
creative
new creative
director.
director.
So exciting. Brady
He was in
Tolbert.
charge of getting my new website launched out while I was away filming.
It's really pretty.
It's not just design, it's lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So there's travel, fitness, food, recipes. What else am I missing? I'm sorry, I'm tired.
The world of.
Travel,
this is
fitness,
Bobby
food,
tired.
health, fashion, all kinds of stuff on there. So a lot of the things that you would learn on Queer Eye, you can come to the website now and find there.
That's
I'm
so
gonna
cool.
move this way a little bit too. I feel like I'm ignoring
I
you
love that.
guys.
Yeah, don't neglect that crowd over there. I know these are pretty fun. I'm going down a little bit. I'll go low. Okay, but the idea is, yes, that the world of is going to live within you,
Yes.
and that you get to keep pursuing design, but you have these other kind of passions and interests, and like you'd love to get it out there. Am I right?
Exactly. You know, I love design and I love what we're able to do for people with design, but I definitely would want to branch into other avenues.
Yep.
Because everything in my life is designed. It's not just our interiors, it's your health and fitness,
Yeah.
your travel, So I want to talk about design in a much broader aspect, and that's what my website's all about.
Awesome. So exciting. Okay, so working backwards from there, A.R.T. is your big launch this week.
That's right.
Childlike,
it is fun.
Bobby. So I know I've heard this story that you regaled Business of Home with this great anecdote about why A.R.T. and Mark and Richard Fung,
Yes.
and just sort of the kind of connection that you guys had. And I know that a lot of designers are interested in licensed partners and doing collections, and I thought that the way you described it was really, it sort of encapsulated what I believe is the best way to enter any relationship in life or business. Can you just tell us a little bit about why that was a right fit for you?
So
because there have been other suitors, I imagine.
Yes.
Yes.
I was walking around the show this morning and seeing some of the ones that I almost did business with. Not that they were bad, but A.R.T. and Mark is just perfect.
Great.
In every aspect of our relationship, it's just perfect. We're already family. One of the things that really attracted me to their company is their company was not just built by, some family money or big corporations. Mr. Fung used to come here 30 years ago, and Mark was telling me he would come home, and when his dad would take his shirt off, his shoulders would be bruised. And he'd be like, "Dad, what happened?" And it was from carrying the samples around on his back and his shoulders around High Point all week. Pounding the pavement in High Point, not really anyone giving him the time of day back then. And now he's got the biggest, nicest building in High Point. He's like, big mistake, huge. So just the drive that this man has and the talent. Him and his wife were artists. They just love to paint. They love to design things. And they turned their passions and their love and their hard work and drive and ethics into an amazing company that spans the globe.
Love it.
And I came to New York in 2003 with $100 in a suitcase, just walking around the city, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. So I really kind of related to, he's obviously on a much bigger scale, but I related to that drive and that hunger to be doing more and to use something that you're passionate about, like design, to build that brand. And so
I love that.
their company, their family, their whole company environment, all of his executives at their headquarters in China, they've been with him since day one.
That's amazing.
Their head of retail, Angela, who is amazing. I don't remember her exact title, but I think she was like a secretary 20-something years ago, and now she runs all of retail across Asia.
That's awesome.
So to see people who have been with someone their whole professional career says something about that person.
Yeah.
That not only are they an amazing, inspirational leader, but they're a good person, because if you work for a monster, you usually don't stay that long.
Yeah. What was during the process of, design and just exploration and developing this line, was there anything that was, I imagine some of it you knew what to expect, but some of it must have been surprising. What was a learning curve, or just somewhere where you maybe didn't expect this is how it works?
I've developed some of my own lines for my stores before, so I kind of knew a little bit how it worked, and I knew it was hard. Yeah. And not that this wasn't hard, but working with them made it a lot easier. We put this together in less than a year.
Wow.
Which just goes to show how amazing all of their teams are, from their teams here in the States to Vietnam to China. Mark, Mr. Fung's son, he's the head of international business, and he's phenomenal. Ivy League background in business. Didn't want to stand under his father's shadow. He wanted to do his own thing. But then in the end, the business and the finance background that he went out and got that he thought he wanted to do, he's like, wait a second, I can use this to actually to work with my family.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see somebody who didn't just have something handed to them. He went on I'm going to do my own thing.
Right.
And the dad's like, no, Yeah. So they're just such an awesome family. But developing the line, I developed it very closely with Doug over there. Couldn't have done that without him.
Say hi, Doug,
and
wherever
Megan.
you are. Oh, yeah, there you are, Doug.
Lots of trips back and forth to Asia and High Point. And it was just phenomenal to see.
Don't single them out.
Sorry.
Look at
I thought
that's your worst
I
fear.
thought they were playing the music on us like at the Oscars, and I'm like, are we already done?
Good night. Thank you. We were. They kicked us out. Look what I found. Do you want your water? Here you go. Sorry.
But
no, we're gonna stay.
The speed and the precision and the passion that they put into it allowed us to do it so quickly. And we didn't just do a collection here. We did 50, 60 SKUs here. And then for our markets in Asia, we did pretty much the same line, but we chose different fabrics and finishes because different fabrics and
that
finishes in different
fun,
markets.
Right?
Yeah, so I got to learn a lot about different markets.
Okay, give me a good example of something that you might not have gone for the American market, but they were like, this is going to be a runaway hit in Asia. Come on.
Green leather sectional.
Okay.
It's beautiful. I personally don't love leather. All of our US product is done with a vegan leather, but in China they love beautiful leather, and so we did this gorgeous kind of moss green color leather.
Sounds cool.
So personally for the US market, I wouldn't have done that because that's just me, but nobody knows their market better than they do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know, but Markhor is the 80th largest brand in China, not furniture brand, brand.
Wow.
Their stores, you could almost kind of compare it to a Williams-Sonoma as far as tiers. So you have the A.R.T. Epicenter stores, which is where my collection is. It's kind of like the West Elm. And then you have the A.R.T. furniture stores, which is like a Pottery Barn, but way cooler. Don't think of that as their aesthetic. Sorry, Pottery Barn, I love
Plenty
you.
cool. Who are you offending now?
And then there's
Keep your options open, Bobby.
Then there's the Marcor store, which they're like these, it's like the beautiful modern white building over there. It just goes on for days and days and days.
Wow.
And so they are really the first brands in China that really get merchandising and the way stores need to be set up. You know, I had traveled to China a lot before, and you'd go into a furniture store, and it was just kind of like rows of sofas. Like, you went to that store to get a sofa, and then, you know, there'd be a bed store. And then
but it wasn't
a
life of.
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't set it up the way you would want it to look in your home, where they do, and they're the first ones to really get it.
Wow.
And I think that's why they've been so successful. I think when you have an artist leading your company, you get
that's what they bring.
Taste.
That's so cool. Well, speaking of, that's a nice segue into like what your foray into design was, which is through retail. And I thought this was so fascinating. And you know, there's so many designers that aim for a product line, or you have a design shop and you want to grow it and get bigger. And you come from this merchandising and sort of retail background. And just tell me, I want to hear about the segue, but what was your sort of interest in that, and why did that suit sort of who you were?
You know, I left home at 15, and
if you want to start there,
I was
there. Go for it.
I was a little boy.
Even further back.
And so I didn't go to college. I didn't go to design school.
And this is in Missouri?
This was in Missouri. Okay. And at the time, like really my only options, I like worked at a gas station, I worked at Applebee's, and I worked at retail. And so I got into retail. And so I moved my way up into retail management. And then I started working for retail furniture stores because I had a passion for design. So then when I moved to New York, my first job was managing the restoration hardware there.
Cool.
And then I ended up working for Bed Bath & Beyond and another linen company, and then a brand called Portico, which was a high-end boutique company in New York. And after Portico, unfortunately, went bankrupt, I frantically registered BobbyBerkHome.com and cloned the e-commerce business that I had built for Portico. And I'm like, maybe I'll sell a sofa or two while I look for another job. And you know, that was 2005. So it did okay.
That's amazing.
Online started doing really well. At the time, I was kind of the only online furniture store.
That's so
there was
crazy.
Me, there was Velocity Art and Design out of Seattle, a guy named John, but no one was really selling online.
That's wild.
I remember Gus Modern, who was in this building. I had brought them on at Portico, and I put them on BobbyBerkHome.com, and I get an email from Amanda, a cease and desist letter. And she's like,
wow.
You don't have permission to be selling our product. We don't know this Bobby Berk home brand, you know, we just know you worked for Portico. And I'm like, just please give me a chance. And you know, fast forward 2 years later, we were their largest retailer.
Wow.
So with the success of online, I opened up a store in Soho, and then Miami, and Atlanta, and LA. And I built the brand through retail. But I also knew that retail wasn't necessarily where I wanted to end up. It's just what I knew. You know, I knew the retail business well, and I loved design. So as the brand grew, I started working with licensed partners here at High Point, and that came about just by coming to High Point every 6 months, I think it is, twice a year, every year, and just meeting manufacturers and vendors and building relationships with them, and them seeing how my stores grew in the brand and believing in the brand and believing in me. And then licensing was doing well, so as leases were up in stores, I decided to close stores because I was on the road 80-90% of the time. I was never home. You know, when you're a small retail company,
a hard thing to keep
if you guys
up.
are any small retail companies, you know, if you have multiple stores, if you have a manager that quits or calls out, your store doesn't get open. So you hop on a plane and you fly to Miami to open the store, and you sit there at that store until you can find good help again and train them. And 2014, I spent 90% of the year in Miami because I couldn't find a good store manager.
Wow.
So I was like, this is not the life for me.
No.
So my husband and I decided to move to LA, and at that point, I had started my design firm and my product design firm, and we went to LA, and I started just focusing on interior design and product design.
That's cool.
And then a little show called Queer Eye came around, and the rest is history.
Let's bridge that gap a little bit. So you're in LA, you have a design business, you have a store, or a digital store.
My publicist, Courtney.
Good.
I've been working with her since
Getting
2013.
the pieces together here.
She heard through the grapevine that they were bringing Queer Eye back, and she called them up, and she's like, I have somebody for you.
Yeah.
And they had me do a Skype ooh, that thing pops up as
Yeah.
you get up. Ooh, it almost knocks you over.
Hours of fun here.
They had me do a Skype interview, and like, I had the background of my house all set up perfect, look all designy, and I'm like, I'm ready for
Give
this.
us like a snippet, like what you're there, like
Well,
they're like you're
oh
like.
no, but then the power went
Courtney's
out.
like,
The
oh,
power went out in my building. So
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
So I jump in my car as fast as I can, and my office is like a mile away. So I rush to my office, and I get up there, and I'm like all sweaty and hot, and the wall behind my desk is
Yeah.
black, and
my
I'm
God.
really, really pale. So then I looked like powder from the movie,
Oh
and
my
I'm like, I was
God.
just sweaty and disheveled, and I'm like, well, that didn't go well. I'm not getting a call back on that. I'm like, all right, good, that's fine. And then, God, was there?
You got a call back.
Yeah, well, then I was doing some installs for homes in Vegas, and then I was in Palm Springs for Modernism Week, doing a modernism house there.
Anybody been to Modernism Week here? To Palm Springs, at least.
No?
Oh my
you have
gosh,
to go. If you're
friends.
into architecture, especially mid-century,
Get on
Palm
it.
Springs is like mid-century Disney World.
Best airport too,
It's
right?
just, yeah, it's so pretty.
Outdoors, pretty.
It's just a breathtakingly beautiful
yeah,
place.
bucket list.
See, now I lost my train of thought. What were we
Palm
saying?
Springs.
Palm
You and I to do
Springs.
a.
We were installing a house, and Courtney got a call, and they're like, we want Bobby to come in for an in-person audition.
Nice.
So fast forward a few weeks later, I'm in Vegas for another meeting with a client, and just for the day, I go to fly home. We end up on the runway for 6 hours. Somebody had tweeted a terrorist threat against the plane.
Oh my God.
So they wouldn't let us off. It was crazy. So then at like 1 o'clock in the morning, they finally let us off the plane, and I have to get in a car, and my assistant and I drove back to LA that night.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, I spent the next morning looking for colorful suits because the executives at Queer Eye saw that picture of me in that blue suit with the orange shirt and the little bow tie
Oh my God.
that my assistant forced me in during a shoot one day. Like, that is not me.
But she was right though. That's what
No,
they wanted.
Literally, I think it's but they liked bright blonde
Yeah,
Bobby.
TV people live in
and
jewel
so the
towns.
casting directors were like, make sure you like bring that suit. They want to see bright, colorful Bobby.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God. Wait, you went
that
shopping
suit
for
was
colorful?
on loan. I don't even own that suit.
And in LA, you went shopping for colorful?
Yeah,
You should have
and,
done it
like,
in Palm Springs.
I wasn't going to drive
Odds,
another
right,
2
I
hours.
know.
Great idea, though.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020.
So I felt like this bright, like fuchsia tuxedo from Top
Oh
Man
my
and this
God.
emerald green one. I looked like I was going to prom. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
But
But they're like, hey, the redhead in the pink suit. I mean, then they just could no.
Yep. And so casting went well. It was in-person casting.
Was it so intense?
It was like,
Is it
you've seen American
scary?
Idol,
Sure.
you've seen The Voice,
Uh-huh.
and then you've seen Hunger Games.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
But gay.
intense.
All
oh,
gay.
it'd be even
Yeah.
more intense.
A lot more hair pulling, a lot more slaps.
Did you meet the
know.
guys that you work with now then?
Yes, that's the first time we met.
Wow.
And it was great because the 5 of us kind of instantly clicked. Well, 3 of us first. Cramo and Tan and I, we just kind of found each other that first day and just
Wow.
clicked, and we
Oh
ended
my
up like always
gosh.
sitting next to each other. And then Jonathan came into the group, and then Anthony. And by the second day, we were friends, and we just kept hanging out. And I think the network really saw that we had a real, genuine connection, and that we really actually liked each
Wow.
other. They started doing chemistry testing where they would put one person from each category in the room together
Oh my
and do like
God.
little faux scenes and then like just rotate people
That
in
sounds
and
like
out.
breeding horses. Like, you're like, hey, you and you over there. But you know what I mean? Like, that's
the
crazy.
visual I just got.
Yeah.
That's
so
and so
funny.
they just kept rotating us in and out, which I
Oh
guess
my
is like breeding
God.
horses. Sooner or later, like 2 of us weren't leaving, and then 3 of us weren't leaving, and 4 of us, and 5 of us, and then it was the 5 of us. And as that was happening, they were like, we're letting other people go. So like every time you'd
there were, like,
deck out to use the
tears?
bathroom, you'd walk out and there'd be less people, and you're like, oh. You're like, oh.
God, I once worked
because
a
you
job
made friends
like
with these
that.
people. Like it was a very intense few days, so you made lifelong friends
Yeah.
with other people even outside of the Fat
Wow.
5. And then I remember finally they're like, all right, you guys can take a break, and we went out and there was no one else left. And we were like,
Wait, and were the 5 of you just looking at each other?
yeah, we were like, there's no one else left.
Are we the Fat 5?
I think. And then they were like, so we'll let you guys know in a few weeks. We're like, what? True story though, true story.
Wait, and how long did it take?
Over 2 weeks.
So did you tell Courtney or somebody? You're like, well, there were 5 of us left, and we're just like.
There was a team B though.
Oh,
And so we didn't know.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, but we got it.
What did you do like the day that you found out? If it's PC to share.
I don't even remember. I think it was just at my office. And at that point, like after 2 weeks, we knew.
Yeah.
We just didn't know.
Wow.
So I think we had kind of all celebrated before that.
Who did you call?
I called my husband and Courtney and lots of my best friends, my family.
So cute.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so major. I've forgotten all of my questions because it's just so exciting. Okay, I think what this season especially, but all of them and the whole premise of the show, I think is so not what people expected. They expected transformation and makeover, but they did not expect humanity. And I just want you to speak a little bit to like why that works and resonates, because seeing it and experiencing it and people watching it for the first time or watching an episode that really resonates with them, like I think that they realize how much of that is missing in not just the media that they have, but their relationships. And like, it's just, I can't tell you how many people, like the anecdotes that they tell me about you are just so like, whoa, deep, you know?
You know, I think that we were really lucky enough to come on air at a time where our nation had just spent 2 years ripping each other apart.
Yeah.
You know, unfriending people and hiding people and blocking people. Anybody that had a different point of view at us, we couldn't even look at them anymore.
Yeah.
You know, dreading going to Thanksgiving. And we came along and we're like, no, that doesn't have to be the case. You can walk in, 5 gays can walk into a house with a Trump sign in the front yard and a MAGA hat in the bedroom and become lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Because we're not Republicans, we're not Democrats, we're humans.
Yeah.
We're people. Forget the politics.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people really resonated, because it gave them hope of, okay, we're divided right now, but you know what, we don't have to be, we don't need to be. There's hope. You know, we can all still love each other no matter what stupid political affiliation we have. And I think, honestly, that's one of the great things about his presidency was that we were able to show people, hey, no, just love each other. Find the humanity. Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting, sort of also in the editing and the producing of it. I mean, it was on you guys, but it's also in how, you know, you have this much material and sort of you're left with this much at the end of the day in a story, in a book, in a TV show. And I thought it was so interesting. There was a lot of non-resolution as well. Like, there were conversations that I saw you guys having really intense about, like, the church and being gay and family and the whole thing, and many different viewpoints among you all. And also sometimes where you're just like, hands in the air, like it's just not easy, and it doesn't have to be pat and we should all love each other. Like, there are inconsistencies and confusion and pain that live within this, and there's also joy. And I thought that the way that that's handled in the show, and as just sort of as a reminder, was really powerful.
Thank you.
You told me a couple of great anecdotes about sort of when you felt. I asked you when we talked previously, you know, the role of home. Like, what can home do for you? What can you bring to you? I mean, so much of the conversation we have here at High Point, and, you know, I've had in the magazine business is about aesthetic, or it's about trend, or it's about the look, or, you know, it's something that drives business, right? And I respect that. And we'll get to trend and non-trend in a minute, because I know I want to dig into that. But home is, you know, for those of us lucky enough to have one, and one consistent one, has so many roles in our life, and it has such an outsized impact in how we wake up and how we carry on with our day and how we, you know, relate to our family. And I mean, think of all the fights that you might have with a partner over stuff in the house. Or you relayed to me that a couple of the anecdotes of people that had either watched a show or heard you speak that really delve into more of the personal side of that. Can you share one of those?
You know, when it comes to home, and as designers, we're not just designers, we're therapists. You know, I think design is a form of therapy. People always ask, they're like, why don't we see more of the process on Queer Eye? I'm like, well, because it's not a design show. It's not a fashion show. It's not a cooking show. We're 5 people who are experts in our fields, who are using those fields and our passions as tools to affect change in their lives, not necessarily to affect change in their home, but the fact that doing change in their home does affect their life. Yeah. It does affect their mental health. Mm-hmm. When you show somebody who's suffering with depression that waking up in a disaster of a room and seeing that mess, and the first thing that you think when you wake up is that you're defeated already, and teaching them that maintaining your home and making your home a happy, safe place can have an effect on your mental health. Because again, if you wake up and the first thing you feel is defeat, goes with you the whole day.
Yeah.
And you just want to pull the covers over your head. I almost said curtains. Pull the
Yeah.
covers over your head and not go about your day. And it
Yeah.
just stacks up on that depression.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, well, yeah, if I had the money and the budget that Queer Eye has, which we don't have a big
I was about
one.
to say, if you know anything about TV, you know there's
yeah,
like
I
no
could make my
budget.
house look pretty too.
Yeah.
And like, it's not necessarily about going out to spend money. It's about making your home a happy, tidy, as Marie Kondo would say, it's a place that sparks joy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money, but of course here at High Point, we want people to buy more furniture.
Mm-hmm.
It's about finding those things that you love, that when you come home, you feel safe and you feel like it's yours, and it's you're not living in chaos. Like in season 1, Bobby Camp, the guy with 6 kids in that house that was just...
It's hard to stop.
One of the things he said to me, and I think it made the cut, was after I redid his place, he said, every night when I came home and I saw the state that my family was living in, it reminded me that I wasn't enough. It made me feel like I was not enough. And now I can come home and I can be in a better headset, a better mindset,
Yeah.
and I can focus on spending that time with my children, and my children are getting a dad that's happy and not stressed out about everything around him.
Yeah.
And he's like, it just really goes to show me that we've got to maintain this. We can't let our home go back into chaos,
Yeah.
because it caused our lives to be in chaos.
Yeah.
Everything starts at home.
Yeah.
But people don't think about that. They're like, oh, let me just get a therapist. I'm like, how about you just clean your room? Start there.
As my mom would say, take a walk. Just take a walk. And I'm like,
Not that there's anything wrong with therapy. I love my therapist, not knocking that, but I'm like, start by doing your laundry.
it's sort of all the above.
Yeah.
Right, I know.
You might be surprised at the sense of accomplishment and glitz you get,
I know. I do get that, and that is why they need this. And I think that the show, and there's an entire, I think, way of going about design and about home that will lift all ships. The interest that we have truly in this room, and the need to sell things, and to be able to bring people in, I think, to talk about home and family and the actual prescriptive benefits that living well or even just neatly
Yeah.
can give you, can then open your mind to upgrading. If you've ever bought one nice thing, you're like, ooh, I want more nice things. Oh, this is what a nice sweater feels like. I want all my sweaters to feel like this.
It's not even about, expensive. It doesn't have to be. I quote Marie Kondo a lot because I love the term spark joy.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to trends later, but I'll talk about it for a bit now. People are always like, what's your favorite trend? How should I decorate my home with what trend? And I'm like, the trend is whatever sparks joy for you. Don't let Instagram or some magazine tell you what your home needs to look like. Because if you come home and don't feel like it's your home and it doesn't make you happy, what was the point of spending money on it?
Right.
I was doing a photo shoot the other day for a company, and one of the reps came up to me after me, and she's like, I just want to say thank you. My husband died recently in our home, and they were very young. I mean, she couldn't have been more than early 30s. She's like, it was very unexpected. And I've now go home every day and I see the home that we lived in, and I see the stuff, and I see the bed that he died in. And so I've been quickly trying to change our home because I don't want to be reminded of the sad things. Mm-hmm. And she's like, so I've been looking at all these magazines and watching shows of how trends I should do. And she's like, and then I heard you in an interview talking about who cares what the trends say. Find the things that you're passionate about. Find the things that make you happy. Mm-hmm. You don't need permission from anyone to do it exactly how you want it. And she's like, thank you for giving me permission to only care about what makes me happy in my home, not care about what some designer says. No offense, I'm a designer too. We have our place. But, just to not worry and not let your mental health get stifled by the world.
I think it's an interesting thing. I mean, it's something that, being in the home and design industry that I've, grappled with, which is that, unfortunately, I think home and furnishings is put in the position of being down the ladder of where people spend their money. I mean, I'm sure that you all have, clients or know of people that are happy to spend on XYZ, and then you're like, okay, a good sofa that is comfortable, that might last longer than 18 months, is a really good investment in minutes per use. It's a phenomenal payback if you actually invest in there.
It's better for the environment.
That they will buy a pair of shoes that will give them blisters and that they will toss after 4 wears. happily. But the idea of like spending that $100 on a throw pillow is like insane, but they are on, Netflix every night with that pillow. Like it is, I think, a repositioning of how we have to talk to people about home, and that, for me, that getting home up there as the most important place to spend when you do spend, after life essentials, will serve to bring happiness to them on the whole. And I just think we need to come at it so much more from that angle versus this is cool or this is neat or it'll Instagram well or you're a grown up and you should, you're a grown up now, you bought a home, you might as well have nice things. Like you should be doing it because it makes you feel good. And I don't know,
everywhere else in the world is stressful. Market's stressful, work's stressful, the airport's stressful, the gas station's stressful, the market's stressful, the Whole Foods parking lot's stressful.
Right.
You should get home and not be stressed. Like that should be the place where you recharge, you refresh, like everything around you, whether it be a lot or a little, shouldn't be something that adds stress. It should be something that adds relaxation and zen. So people really need to start thinking about their home.
Or fun, depending on like what you need.
Your home is your charger. You go home every night, you plug your phone in so it can get through the day. That's what you need to do with your home. You need to come home and plug yourself in so you can get through the next day. So if you're not recharging at home, you're not going to make it through the day.
What like very specific, unsolicited advice would you give to like just about anyone? Or what do you find yourself echoing?
About what?
Just like home design. Okay. Home design,
Brush
Bobby.
your
Home design. Do you want to others?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
No, like what do you find yourself echoing all the time, or when somebody either asks you for design advice or living? I mean, even coming from the perspective that you just came from, like, what do you feel like you wish you could just tell everyone? Oh my God, get back to me. Okay. New question. Think hard.
I think it just goes back to doing the things that make you happy.
Like do your laundry, clean your room?
Yeah. But think about your home affecting your mental health.
Yeah. Draw that connection.
Yeah. We're like, if we're stressed out at work, you're like, this is a hostile work environment. This is stressing me out. We're messing with my mental health. Mental health is a very big deal. It's not just about your aches and pains. It's about your aches and pains up here too.
Yeah.
And so just, again, maintaining that environment to where it is healthy for you.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Tell me about one design, like just one piece of furniture in your new collection that felt like it either filled a gap or was something that you wanted or was something you've loved. Like give me like one quick story about.
Just one?
Yeah, just one. These people are busy.
Like 24 more minutes. I can do more than one.
High Point, you have like 10 things more to do.
I don't think I can pick just one, but I'll tell you what.
Okay,
I'll tell you what
two.
About my collection fills a void.
Okay.
I had my own stores for a decade. I had my own online business. There is no cool, good, high-quality modern furniture out there at a mass price point. There's just not. But there is now. It was very important to me because I get fans that are like, you're spending money on people. That's why you can make it look great, And I didn't want it to be just for the 1%. I didn't want it to be just for the upper middle class. I wanted it to be for anybody who wanted a great home and wanted, pieces that spark joy. And that's what this collection is really about, was making sure that we designed it well, made it good quality, made it look good and cool, like what millennials or anybody with good taste for that matter would want, and that you can afford it.
Yeah.
It's for, us when we're getting our first house and we're kind of grown out of IKEA. Don't knock IKEA, love me some IKEA. It has its place in your life, but then it doesn't. And you want your big girl furniture, and you want to be like, I just worked my ass off to buy this home or to get this new place, and I want it to spark joy.
Yeah.
And that's what my collection is about, is really, it's bringing great accessible design to the masses without breaking the bank.
Ooh, can you tell your what story, your Target story? Did I ruin it?
My what? They can still hear you. Oh, okay, that's what I thought. But I thought you said it story. I was like, what's that? So I think the moment that I kind of got the design bug, I couldn't have been
How old were you?
Don't interrupt me. Okay. I was going to say I couldn't be more than
so excited.
7, 8, 9. And we were on the same wavelength. That's fine.
Go.
And so we were in Target, and it was Target's very first designer collaboration they had ever done. It was the Michael Graves collection.
Who remembers the Michael Graves Target collection?
Right?
Super seminal. So fascinating.
Little boy in Missouri, I mean, the extent of our design was my mom's home interior party she'd have, which were like little pictures of Jesus and little lambs and ivy and little wooden shelves on the wall. You
Wow.
all know exactly the ones I'm talking about.
Wow.
And so design wasn't really a thing. Like I didn't think about the person that designed that 10 Commandments plaque. It was just there.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't.
Raise your hand if you just kidding.
So it wasn't until I saw this collection and I saw that, a spatula wasn't just something to get spaghetti or something with. It could be something that looked cool too.
Yeah.
And a toaster wasn't just something that toasted toast. It could be something that you could stare at while it was toasting and be like, that is the coolest toast ever.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I really thought about there's people out there that are thinking about the way things look.
That's
and
cool.
that the way things function and that things aren't just utilitarian, they can spark joy. I hope she hasn't trademarked that because I'm going to owe her so much money. I say it so much.
She definitely has.
She has. Sorry, Marie. And so, that was, the first time that I really started thinking about design as something that people are out there doing,
Did you buy anything?
I didn't have any money.
No, you were a little kid. I can't believe you had a Target. I'm so jealous.
Michael Graves' firm sent me all the stuff now.
Oh my gosh, so
Yeah.
cool, right?
Tea kettle and the toaster and spatulas. Yeah, they heard me
Classics.
talk about the story and they're
So
like, we want to send you all
cool.
this stuff. It was great.
I totally love that. What you didn't want to talk about is trend, and I want you to explain why.
Well, like I said earlier, of course, we're in the industry. We always want to be updating things because at the end of the day, we're here to sell stuff. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also should be here to sell stuff that makes people happy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in the food industry, candy and pastries, it makes people happy, The same with furniture. We want to do things and create things that make people happy. And so for trends, when people get stressed out about it, and it's something that's, again, not having a positive thing on their mental health, I say don't worry about trends. Find one piece that really makes you happy, that you're really passionate about. Even if your friends are like, that's weird. You know what? You like it. And when you wake up in the morning, you're the one looking at it, not them, unless, you're really close with your friends. So to me, yes, I love trends. I love it. I love our industry evolving. There's always something new, and that's what's fun about it for us.
Yeah.
But for people who aren't in design or people who, don't have the money to hire a designer, I tell them, I'm like, don't worry about, the hottest thing coming out of Milan and Maison Objet. Just find something that you love. Because if there's one item that you love, that's probably going to be, find more things like it.
Yeah.
Build from there.
So in your own home, you live in LA.
Yes.
Where's that now? Are you evolving it? Do you like to get it done and then you're good to go, or do you always tinker?
So my husband and I just bought a new house in December, but I think I've only slept there 2 weeks. And I haven't really done much to it yet because I'm waiting for my new line to be able to go in it. Because the thing about my line is when I design for customers, for clients, I'm designing for clients. I'm designing what they like. When I design on the show for our heroes, I'm designing for them. I never really get to, as designers, we never really get to design for us. Because when we get home, we don't want to design anymore. My loft downtown before we bought our house was featured in People magazine. I'll be honest, my team designed that.
Yeah.
They designed it based on what they know I love, but between designing on the show and designing for our clients, I just didn't have the bandwidth to want to go home and do that.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that I've got to design pieces that I really want in my home. I can't wait for this stuff to get over
So what are you
here.
looking forward to? What I want to know a moment. Is there a room or a atmosphere or an event that you're looking for? Do you want friends over and you're do you have an outdoor space? Fun.
Lots of outdoor space, yeah.
So is it that? Is it a dreamy bedroom? What are you actually getting excited to put together?
All of it, because my collection encompasses every single room. Dining, living room, bedroom, outdoor. So all of it, our house is really cool because it's not a big house. It's 1,400 square feet, but it has a lot of great outdoor space, and it's on a hill, and it has these doors that open up so the indoors come outdoors. So even though it's kind of a tiny house,
LA, I love
the
it.
outdoors makes it feel big.
Yeah.
And so I'm just excited for, there's not just one space, it's all of it.
Oh, that sounds so nice. I aspire to outdoor space.
We wake up and out the window from the bed, we can see snow-capped mountains, and it's just
But it's
beautiful.
way over there because you're in LA sweltering, yeah.
We can see snow-capped mountains and downtown from the front and the hills, and then from behind we can see the Hollywood sign, Griffith Observatory, and on a clear day, which doesn't happen very often in LA, because an ocean view was not even listed in the real estate listing, but after
But you've
all the
seen
rain
it.
we've had,
Oh my gosh.
I was on the roof, I was like, That's the ocean.
That's amazing.
The realtor didn't even know because it's normally too smoggy to see it.
That's amazing. Sounds like you've made it.
So it's just
Love
like
it.
a little bitty house, but like surrounded by paradise.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's take one spin while the people clap for us. Ready? Go.
Just one?
No. Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thanks to A.R.T. and to High Point Market Authority. Anyway,
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you
a good
so much.
market. Thank
Bye.
you.